So you want to create a character and you don't know where to start, or you're having trouble creating a nice character that you could be proud of. So I decided I wanted to go over my best tips and tricks for creating character designs. Here's just a few examples of my designs, just so you could get a small idea of how and what I create. We have my orc warrior. We have the crazy Houdini vibe. So we have my Greek goddess warrior. Here is my very elegant priest. This is really just bringing me into my first point of creating a character. First of all, when creating a character, I like to start off with 3 things: the colors, the theme, and the items. While this doesn't have an order, because all 3 of these things can go off of one another, I personally do like to start with the theme, and I have an idea of it being like a Aztec princess warrior thing. What I would do, I have the theme. I can either go to colors or items here. I'm going to go to items. These are all the items that I feel are kind of relevant to the theme that I'm going for. While yes, some of these items are a part of a certain set, you do not need to use the entire set. So basically what I'm saying here is I have the Imperial headpiece and the Imperial mantle. There are also other items I could use from the Imperial set. I decided not to because it's not how I felt would present my character appropriately. After this is when I would go into my base colors, the 4 right here, and pick what I want to do. My base colors are so important because I have to think about how is this going to look with my decals, how can this create more effects in the future. When designing my character, is your base color going to be used as an underlying tone or a upperlying tone? Like here, I could put this decal around the whole entire dragon, and the orange would be an underlying tone of this black. So you have your base colors down, you have your items already on your character, and you already know the theme of what you want to do. While normally I would say go ahead and start dyeing your items, I want you to keep in mind how many colors do you want this character to have, and which colors do you want to have more emphasis than the others. Obviously this character is orange. It's going to have a lot more orange emphasis, so a lot of my decals are going to be on this end. I do also plan on using very white yellows and blues. While not inherently, I want to keep in mind that some parts of my items could be dyed these other colors that are apart from my actual avatar color itself. Alright, so you've dyed your items, you have your base color, and you have the theme. Now it's time to get into making decals. For this tip specifically, I'm going to bring out another design. When you're starting out a character, it is so important to have contrast and diversity. You don't want just the base color to shine through. You want so many different colors to create an interesting visual to look at. You can do this by taking certain decals and making them very, very big. On this specific design, I used a square decal to cover up a lot of space just to create contrast. I also use different colors of these types of square decals to create a more pleasing visual. I put such big emphasis on taking up a lot of space with these really big decals. You can go back in and add a lot more smaller detailed, more prominent decals that people can actually see and make them look a lot more important. Basically what I mean by this is because I used very dark underlying decals to create and take up space, I was able to use much lighter decals that are much smaller to create very pretty designs on top of them. You can see now the design looks a lot more intricate and interesting, so you understand how to create emphasis and contrast within your character to make it look interesting. The mirror tool will be your best friend, alright, but it can also be your worst enemy. You do not want your character to look the same exactly on both sides, but it is perfect for creating these very pretty designs that look brand new. They don't even look like a decal. Having more than just 2 colors in mind helps so much. On this character, I had blues, purples, whites, and yellows in mind. So you can see while the main body has more purples and blues, what she is wearing actually has a lot more whites and yellows. I actually do want to go a step further and show you on this personal character. The biggest thing that I enjoy about making really big decal spots first is that they can go to other parts of the body, creating this really cool effect. I have a decal on this arm specifically, but you could see that it also comes over onto this arm. I know it's a glitch, but you can use this glitch to your advantage. Make sure whenever you're putting designs that you turn off the mirror effect, just in case when you make a decal bigger, it could just look better overall without having to have it on the other side. Because I do not need to put this decal the mirror effect, because that just adds extra when it looks completely fine just by itself, because I can make it big enough and it reaches the other end. So I feel like I have my base down for this character. If anything, I can take this away and it still be considered my base. Of course, these colors aren't permanent, but they're just a set-in for an idea of how I want it to be. God, it is dark outside. This is taking forever, but I am done finally, and I am showing you the finished product. I have at least 5 different colors here. We have the base color that helped with contrast and exaggeration of these lighter colors that I've used here. I used very bold colors so they would stick out and look nicer on the character. And then this is the finished product with all of the items that I wanted to use. This is a side note that your colors do not have to be as contrasting as I am. I specifically used very contrasting colors because I wanted to elaborate on the markings and how many colors the Aztec people used. This just goes with the theme, so do what you want.